It's the second week at Deer Camp 2023. Got my stand loaded up on my back. About to go set it up for the evening hunt. Hopefully we'll get something. Check back in with you later. So I've got my stand mostly set up. I've got a canopy that I'm not going to put up tonight. I'll only put it up if it starts snowing or raining. But I've seen a lot of deer sign tracks and scat, so that's good news. It's the second evening of my hunt. It's Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. I didn't go out this morning, just lack of sleep from yesterday. I slept in. Kind of glad I didn't go out this morning because I heard exactly one shot today. So not very promising. I did do a bit of scouting around today. I did find some more tracks and scats, so that's promising. Maybe tonight will be the night. Got some sausage and onions frying up in a pan. Gonna make some breakfast sandwiches for dinner. Nothing like a good breakfast for dinner. If you could only smell this cooking, oh, it smells delicious. I am going to be doing the bagels the old-fashioned way on the stove top with an old-fashioned toaster. You gotta heat it up for a bit before you put the toaster bagels on there. That just takes a couple minutes. Should be just a couple minutes on the eggs, a couple minutes on the bagels. We'll be eating good. Egg, cheese, sausage, capped with more egg. Bagels made the old school way. Now it's time to put on the ingredients. Dinner is served. Some breakfast sandwiches and a little bit of YouTube. Some outdoor boys and dinner. It's Wednesday, November 15th. It's just after 11 a.m. I decided to get out of the stand and go walk around for a bit and see if I can find more sign. Look for a better place to set up my stand. I'm dressed kind of light because I'm going to be putting on the miles. It's supposed to be about 44 degrees today. Yesterday, my phone said it got up to 56 degrees. Don't know if that's true or not. It always feels colder when you're sitting up in a deer stand high up in a tree. Either way, it was a lovely day yesterday. This is a small buck scrape. I've seen quite a few doe tracks, not too many buck tracks. But where there are does, there are bucks, especially this time of year. This is probably the largest Timberwolf pile of scat I've ever found. I have a fairly large pocket knife next to it to show the scale. I'll get my hand into the frame. Much bigger than my hand. I've been following tracks, deer tracks, and intermittent in there were some wolf prints. Now it's confirmed. Definitely a wolf in the area. This is relatively fresh. Ironically enough, the farther I get away from my shack, the less deer sign I see. And the more wolf sign I see, which makes sense that they're farther away from the shack. But there is much more deer sign closer to my shack, which tells me the deer are staying a little closer to the shack because the wolves don't want to go there. I've got half a mind to remove my stand from where it's at now and put it a couple 100 yards away from my shack, because that's where I've seen the most deer sign. I might be doing that this afternoon. Well, this is the end of my trail for the most part. The new beaver pond is not frozen enough to walk across, so I can't get across to my other hunting area, which is directly across that way. I don't know if you just saw it on frame, but a Canadian jay or a gray jay just flew by. That's what you hear in the background. They've got kind of a cackle. The old timers say, where there's a gray jay, there are deer. But I haven't seen them. The Canadian jays love to eat the gut pile after harvesting a deer. So typically, they see a hunter and a deer is close, they'll stick around, wait for that gut pile. No gut pile a day for you, my friend. This is the remnants of a bridge I started a couple of years ago and realized it was almost futile, because as you get across this little stream, there is a whole other beaver pond that connects to this one I just showed you. And that one is much too large to get a bridge across. This is yet another new beaver dam that wasn't here last year. The level of the water from where I'm standing right now is about 4 feet higher. You can see the new dam works right there. Just a bit of water trickling through, I can hear it. Almost anywhere you go on this planet, you will find man's garbage. There's at least a dozen assorted steel cans right here. Who knows when they were left, but dozens and dozens of years ago. I am so far from a road right now, and I am literally in the middle of nowhere. Amazing. Wish me luck as I go back across this double log footbridge. For your sake and for mine, I won't record it. So this is my contraption to get another one of my stands moved to a different location. Just got it strapped to a lawn tractor trailer. I will pick it up and move it where it needs to go as far as I can. It's after 2 p.m. so I can't use the four-wheeler. I just got my other stand set up, and I've only got about an hour, maybe hour and a half of daylight left, so I'm going to make the most of it. So my other stand is set up now. I'm just inside of the tree line on a clear cut. But out straight ahead of me is the logging road where I saw the most deer tracks, like a highway. So I'm hoping that I can get a shot at a nice buck coming through that road. I'm just recording now to see if you can hear that wolf howling. It just gave a really big howl. I don't know if it'll do it again. I have less than 10 minutes of legal hunting time remaining. I never did hear that wolf howl again, but I'm sure I'll hear them later on tonight. It's just a little bit before 1 p.m. on Thursday, November 16th. I'm headed out for the evening hunt. Didn't see anything yesterday, but a lot of promising sign. Got up to about 51 degrees today. I could have basically hunted this morning in my t-shirt, other than it was about 25 degrees just before sunrise. So it took a little while to get up to that 51 degrees. And then by the time sun goes down, it's supposed to be about 27 today, or tonight. So I'll check back in with you in a little bit. This is a set of fresh deer tracks that were not here this morning when I left my stand. And there is the ladder to my stand. That doe walked directly underneath my stand. A second ago there was literally no wind. Out of nowhere, 20-mile-an-hour winds. This stand didn't have a very good gun rest, so I cut some branches off of a fallen pine tree to make my own little gun rest. I just zip tied it to the shooting rail here. Works out pretty good. it's snowing, which is good news. Snow on the ground makes it easier to see the deer. It seems like this is the right kind of snow too. It won't get caught on the branches, it'll all fall to the ground and coat the ground with a nice layer of white. Tonight I'm making some corned beef hash and onions. And when this is done cooking up, I'll put some eggs in it and have a little skillet. Gonna add 4 eggs. Let that fry up with the hash and onions. And I'll have enough leftovers for breakfast. Hopefully. Or I might eat it all. I didn't eat lunch today. Spent too much time out in the woods looking for the elusive whitetail. On a snowy, windy day. Drastically windy. I think there was gusts up to 30 or 35 miles an hour. The tree I was in was blowing around like a circus ride. There was a tree right behind me that snapped right off. Scared the heck out of me. Thankfully it wasn't the tree I was in. Like Dick Brennecke once said, I season simple food with hunger. Sometimes a hunter even has to know how to sew. My shoulder strap came off of my wool bibs today. I'd like to say it's because I'm growing taller, but it's probably more so because I'm growing wider. It is 5 a.m. Friday, November 17th. I just stoked the fire and gonna get ready to go out for the morning hunt. Got down to 25 degrees last night, but it was a balmy 60 degrees in the shack when I woke up this morning. That is a Timberwolf print right inside of a deer print. The Timberwolf was most likely following that deer. It's just after 7 a.m. on Friday, November 17th. And I am in my deer stand for what appears to be a great day. I've got to pull out the first stand I put up when I got up here because it's just not in a great area. Normally I wouldn't drive my four-wheeler right up to where I got my stand, but I'm in a bit of a time crunch. In order to get to where my stand is, I got to get the four-wheeler across this large field of leftover logging debris. I'll cut a few of these with my chainsaw and put her in four-wheel drive. That's a little bit nicer to get through now. I meant to record chopping some stuff up with the chainsaw, but forgot to hit the button before I started cutting. So you get to see what should be the final product. I should be able to make it over that, no problem. I made the cardinal sin of forgetting my rifle. Even when I'm just moving stands, I like to have my rifle on me. I was in a situation once where I had a nice buck and I was moving a stand and I didn't have my rifle on me, and I know I could have got it. But I'll make this quick. I will take down the stand and get back out in the woods and start hunting. I'm only taking down the stand today because I know I'm not going to sit in it again before I leave tomorrow. And I'd rather do it tonight than tomorrow. A couple of years ago, 2021, when they logged this whole area off here, I took some of the logging debris that they left behind and made a little log cabin type deer hunting blind. I've got a rubber roof on top so you can sit out here in the snow or rain and stay cozy. You can see from all four sides. I'll bring you inside, give you a view. I built it directly over a large pine tree stump for the intention of using that as the base of my swivel seat that I made. So you can sit in here and have 360 degrees worth of views and be protected from the elements. But the saplings are growing up pretty good now. So the view from this stand is not going to be, or blind is not going to be great next year, if at all. So that's everything for the stand strapped to my little stand hauler. I designed it so that everything's at an angle, so that there's nothing brush can get caught on. And then I also put metal at the bottoms because I used to drag it down the dirt road for quite a ways. So the metal helps out with that. But it sits nice and low, and everything's behind the four-wheeler, so typically if my four-wheeler fits through, this does. It works out great. All right, I gotta get out of here. What we're having tonight is canned meat, specifically canned venison. This was canned, looks like in March of 21, with meat that a deer I got a couple years ago. So it was canned just over 2.5 years ago. If you've never had canned meat, it might not look the greatest, but let me assure you it's delicious. The way I like to eat mine is cook it up in a pan, just heat it up in a pan, and eat it with French toast and syrup. It's so good. You got that sweet and savory flavor. I brought everything to make French toast, but I don't have syrup. So I think I will just heat this up today and eat it on some open-faced sandwiches. I dumped the whole jar right in there. Water, meat, and then on low heat I simmer it until most, if not all, of the moisture is gone. Pile of doe poop. Apparently it tastes good because she's just about ate the whole pile. Was that good, Kaya? Is that good, huh? Is that good? Yeah, you like that? So unfortunately I didn't get a deer this year. I could still hunt tonight and all day tomorrow, but I have a 8.5 hour drive home tomorrow. So I think I'll call it a year. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get a deer this year, but what I did get was some time in the Northwoods, some relaxation, and I was able to recharge my batteries in nature. So I've decided not to leave until tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna give it one last try to harvest a deer. I've taken my stands out of the woods. So I'm gonna go sit in the blind I built for my daughter and I to hunt out of. This might be the last year that it's gonna be any good. By next hunting season, it'll be so grown up around it that you won't be able to see a thing. So wish me luck. I'll check back in with you later.